Welcome back. Joining me on a morning walk and a run was Michael Nelson, President and Global CEO of Amway, who's currently on his visit to India, one of the company's top 3 priority markets worldwide. During his visit, we caught up with him to discuss Amway's ambitious vision of scaling its India operations to rupees 20,000 crore and the strategic roadmap driving this growth. In our conversation, Michael shares how Amway is balancing investments in local manufacturing with a digital-first direct selling ecosystem and how the company is navigating the shifting dynamics of global supply chains amid trade uncertainties. Of course, we couldn't miss the human side of leadership. Michael has completed over 100 full marathons around the world. We explored how that endurance mindset translates into leading a global organization, knowing when to push through challenges and when to pivot with purpose. Listen in. On this beautiful morning in Delhi, I'm joined in by Michael Nelson, President and Global CEO of Amway. Welcome to CNBC TV 18.
It's a pleasure to be here on a beautiful morning.
Absolutely, and we are both in our running attire.
Yes, we are.
Ready to hit the road. But before that, I must congratulate you on your first visit as the Global CEO of Amway to the country.
Thank you.
You've mentioned India is one of your top priority markets in the past for Amway, top 3 priority markets for Amway. You've also mentioned you have a long-term target of scaling it to 20,000 crore. How are you prioritizing some of your investments, in the market, in the country?
We're almost to our 30th anniversary here in India. We've invested over $140 million US dollars in the market. We've got another investment that's upcoming, another 12 million US dollars that we're investing into the market for giving our ABOs additional capabilities, physical presence locations across the country, north, south, west, and east, across India to increase the stores that we have, places for people to gather, and additional technology capabilities as well.
And with global tariff tensions rising, with the backdrop of rising US trade tariffs,
Yes.
How are you mitigating some of your risks of being in a market like India?
Well, one of the ways is through manufacturing here in the market. So we have a large manufacturing facility in Madurai. We've invested over 85 million US dollars into that. Prime Minister Modi has a Make in India. We started that 10 years ago. I'm actually here this week to celebrate 10 years of manufacturing in the market. That helps to mitigate some of those tariff impacts. Of course, it's a global supply chain. We still have some issues that we work through, but manufacturing here in the market for India and exporting out of India helps us immensely.
And while you're here in the country, what are some of the top key trends that you are picking up from the India market, Michael?
Well, India is such a dynamic market. Every time I come to visit, I learn new things. And that is why it's such a priority market for us. It informs us for what we can do, not just in India, but globally as well. As I look at some of the trends just in terms of health and well-being, the Indian consumer really understanding health needs, technology trends that are happening, and just the advancements, we incorporate that into what we do globally.
Yeah, and the rising trend of, taking care of yourself and health also, I think relates well with what Amway's focus is in the market as well, because you have brands in this space. But India also has a very rich history of Ayurveda and all the natural products and home remedies. And that is, where the consumers are also leaning on to right now, as in a big way over the past couple of years since the pandemic. Having said that, how are you picking up some of these insights and bringing some of your products or localizing for a consumer like the Indian consumer?
That's a great question, because we have a lot to learn from the centuries of history of Ayurveda, and that's a product line that we continue to expand, not just here in India, but there's interest outside of India for those solutions as well. Our Nutrilite brand has 90 years of scientific history. It actually works very well with some of the, the Ayurveda history, and we continue to expand that category.
And what would you say would be your hero product today in the country?
I would say it's our nutrition line called Nutrilite.
Yeah, that's the hero product.
Yes.
You've completed more than 100 marathons
Yes.
so far. So how does, your fitness journey and marathoning impact the way in which you take your business decisions?
Well, that's a great question.
At the helm of a company like Amway.
That's a great, and I know you're a runner as well, but often I think people focus on, the finish line and the pictures of people with the medal around their neck. But as you well know, it's the discipline day to day that you have to have. You don't go out and just run a marathon. You have to have that discipline of training. And that's really what I think is analogous to running a business. It's the day-to-day decisions, the day-to-day tracking of the data and the information to know that you're ready for the future.
And the consistency of,
Right.
the plan. Having said that, running also teaches you humility. Sometimes you train given your all for the 16 weeks as a run up to the
Yes.
race. But on the race day, something happens, your body doesn't feel it, the weather is not right.
Right.
It's the unexpected that comes your way. So what has running taught you about dealing with that unexpected, especially considering we live in such volatile times when it comes to geopolitical situations,
Yes.
macroeconomic factors. So what has running taught you to deal with some of these unexpected things?
Well, I think running, what it does teach me is that you have to always be able to adapt. And so if you're running a race and you're tracking some of the data and you're seeing that today's my day, and you can really push and you can push forward. In some cases, maybe it's weather, it's the conditions, as you say, within the market, some of the macroeconomic geopolitical issues, you have to adapt to that as well. And you may need to adjust a bit the course that you're on.
You gave the example of push and holding back.
Yes.
And, off late, any other situation that has happened, if you can explain to us or elucidate with example on, where you applied this principle of either pushing through hard when you felt good or holding back during making that decision.
Well, I mean, there have been some breakthroughs that we've seen where we were able to accelerate. I mentioned artificial intelligence. We're actually using that in our research and development now to take plant material, analyze that, and through AI really understand how you can take that plant material and make it as effective for the supplements that we provide. Sure. And so as we do that, it really has accelerated our whole development process. And that's where we began to push. And we can see that finish line to deliver that to our customers across India.
Yeah, as since you mentioned this is your first visit to the country as the global CEO of Amway, what is your vision for the market going forward? And at large, what is your vision for Amway for the next probably 3 to 4 or 5 years, so to speak?
So I see there's really 4 key differentiators for Amway. That's true globally, and I think it's true in India as well. One is just the values of the company. That's something that's a legacy for us that we carry forward. The others are really positioned for the future. The best of the past, but the great products that we have for health and well-being.
Sure.
Giving people business ownership opportunity. People want to own their own business, and I think that's something that we can do, and that gives them personal development as well. And then bringing people together in community. Today I think there's an epidemic of loneliness out there. We bring people together, and I think that positions us well for the future. So health and well-being is growing. We're ready to grow with it.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.